God Talk Unfiltered.
Hello, everyone. This is like the biggest group that I've got to tell a God story in front of. That's pretty exciting. I kind of feel like the moth. Can I say that? Anyway, okay. So, in the past week and a half, since I agreed that I would have a story tonight, I had a pretty incredible experience with some pretty incredible people, many of which who happened to be in the room. A few months ago, my husband Ethan had come across an event on Facebook through some mutual friends that was a shamanic yoga retreat. And he decided he wanted to go to this retreat. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I really wanted to go to the retreat too. And he said, no. So he got to go by himself in May, which was cool, right? Because we all, although we are couples, we need to have our own experiences. We are individuals first. And so he went and had an amazing, incredible time on his yoga retreat. And so after that experience, he insisted. In fact, within hours, I think I got a text saying, I'm so sorry I told you couldn't come. But it was fine. And so this time, they did it this past weekend in October, and we had initially planned to go together, but he is predisposed with yoga teacher training, and so I got to go on my own experience, which we both really believe was kind of divine, because as much as I love him and he loves me, you have a very different experience when you're in that kind of environment by yourself as opposed to kind of meeting folks for the first time as a couple, or there were some folks there who had already met him, and so it was just nice to be able to go on my own. But the reason I really wanted to talk about this tonight is because it was such an incredibly powerful experience, and there was so much about it that was powerful, but the main thing that I wanted to share that I think that really impacted me, and I remember thinking about it long after, is on one of the last days we were there, we did what was called an honoring circle. And this was a ceremony where we sat in a circle with everyone who was in retreat, and after having been together for a day and a half, right? It was only the end of the second day. Being in a room full of essentially strangers. There were a few folks in the room who I'd met a couple of times through other events, but really did not know well. We spent, I don't know, about 2 hours or so taking turns sitting in the seat and receiving, kind of like reflecting to the person in the seat what we honored about them, what we saw in them in that really short period of time. And that was so incredibly powerful and moving to me for a couple of different reasons. The first being that these were folks that I had known for not even 2 full days at that point. Might have been just about 48 hours, right? And there was so much power in being seen and really hearing the things that I knew about myself, like somewhere in here, right? But maybe had never honored in myself or acknowledged for myself, or maybe I had acknowledged some of these things before but felt like they were gone or that they were inaccessible to me now. It was so incredibly powerful, and now that I see their faces reflecting back at me, it's coming back. But to just hear and feel that love from people who, 2 days before were perfect strangers, it was so incredibly life-changing. It completely shifted my energy. I left that room feeling like a different person. When we left the room, one of the friends had asked me about what I do, and I often talk about that in a particular way, and I heard the xylophone, so I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but I felt very differently in the way that I talked about it. Immediately, I led with what I was about. I led with my message for people. I felt different in my body. I felt like I had a purpose, and that was so incredibly powerful. The other thing that was crazy to me about it was that in 48 hours, I'd had that kind of powerful experience with people who had been perfect strangers just 48 hours before, and I thought, man, imagine if we could do that in the world. Imagine if we could see people that way and reflect those things and look for the good in people and honor the light in people and see the things that lift them up and light them up and that will give them a shift in their energy and let them know that they are amazing. And that was just really mind-blowing to me, and it gives me a lot of hope and inspiration for our future. Thank you.